What's up, people? What you need here again? So I'm going to talk about Lomachenko and his interview that he had. I'm wondering why. Why, man? Why did this guy decide to talk, man? Because it's just not helping the situation. So he starts talking about the franchise champion belt, and he talks about how he didn't request the franchise champion belt. We all know that Top Rank put in the request for Lomachenko to become franchise champion. So he's basically saying that Maurice Suleiman is not telling the truth. That is not true. He was happy to get the franchise belt. He knows that Top Rank put in the request for the franchise belt. He could have stopped them. He didn't stop them, and he was happy to get the franchise belt. So what's he talking about? All right. And on top of that, he wasn't even supposed to fight for the WBC title. Okay. The WBC graciously, because he was not in the WBC rankings, the WBC graciously put him ahead of Devin Haney, who was supposed to face Luke Campbell for the WBC title, either him or Abdulaev. Okay? So he wasn't even supposed to fight for the WBC belt. That's the first point. Second point is, now the WBC gave him graciousness and gave him the franchise belt, and now he comes out there and says how he never asked for the franchise belt. Like, what are you saying? You know that Top Rank, you know that your promotional company put in a petition for you to get the franchise title. So what are you talking about? It's not like Top Rank does things behind your back. Bob Arum basically told Devin Haney, shout out to Goodfellas Sports TV. He basically told Devin Haney that Devin Haney was never going to face Lomachenko because Lomachenko would become franchise champion. So, I mean, if your promoter be telling Devin Haney and his camp was going to go down, how come you're not aware of that? You know, I don't believe what he's saying. I think he's lying. And there's another thing that Goodfellas Sports TV pointed out, and then I did my homework on it. Vasily Lomachenko was supposed to face George Kambosos, who check him out, undefeated lightweight, 17-0 from Australia, ranked number 3 in the IBF currently, ranked number 5 in the WBO. Okay, he's not ranked in the top 15 in the WBC or the WBA. But the point is that this guy, after Lomachenko beat Luke Campbell at the end of August, September, I believe it was September the 9th, Bob Arum was speaking about Lomachenko facing this dude that I just talked about, George Kambosos, at the end of the year, November, December. So it's not like this guy, Lomachenko, wasn't going to face somebody at the end of this year. But because you win a vacant WBC belt, the rule is by the WBC that you have to face your mandatory first before you face anybody else. And because Devin Haney beat Abdulaev, he became the interim WBC champion. So Lomachenko had him as his mandatory. He had to face Devin Haney. And then Lomachenko's tune changed after Devin Haney became his mandatory. And Lomachenko was saying how they're going to wait out for the Comey Teofimo Lopez winner. They're not going to fight at the end of the year because he couldn't have any voluntaries for the WBC title, which he won. And so it doesn't sound strange to me, but he had to face Devin Haney next before he faced Teofimo Lopez or Richard Comey. So the WBC, somebody put in the request, and I believe it was Top Rank. They put in the request to the WBC for Vasily Lomachenko to become franchise champion, so he didn't have to face Devin Haney. Because if he was the regular belt champion, guess what? He'd have to face Devin Haney as his mandatory first before he could even face anybody else. Okay? So that Vasily Lomachenko actually, the franchise belt allowed him to skip that so he can just go ahead and face Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney, and he could have any fight he wants in between. I found this very interesting when I saw this. Devin Haney he's facing Javier Fortuna in December this year, 1 month after he faced Alvarez on the KSI versus Logan Paul. rematch. I just think that um, I don't know why Lomachenko is making these statements, because this is just shooting him in the foot even more, and makes people like myself do some homework on him and realize, yeah, he is dodging Devin Haney. He does not want to face Devin Haney. Okay, and for the life of me, I would think if you're going to face a guy, he might as well face him while he's early in his career, because that you have a better chance of beating his ass. You know what I'm saying? But apparently that's not the case with Lomachenko. Apparently he's prepared to say these things which are not even true. Then he talks about Canelo. Talking about how Canelo didn't impress him, that Canelo should have gotten Sergey Kovalev out of there sooner. And he's talking about how Sergey Kovalev, he's old, he's at the end of his career, and he was gassed by the six. He should have got him out before that. And I'm looking at this guy, I'm looking at Lomachenko, and I'm hitting my head like this, because you faced Luke Campbell and you didn't get Luke Campbell out of there. Period. Point blank, period. And guess what? Guess what? Luke Campbell's not that hard a hitter. Okay? But he was catching you with shots. And your eyes were all lumpy. And your face was all bruised up at the end of that fight. Canelo ain't got no bruised up face at the end of the fight with Kovalev. He came out clean. He had better defense than you. You know what I mean? And Lomachenko is light years better than Luke Campbell. Okay? Light years better. Not only that, has a hell of a lot more experience at the top tier level. Not only that, but he's also a guy who has beaten guys that Luke Campbell isn't even dare beat. Luke Campbell has been beaten by guys that are not even on those guys' level. So I don't understand how Lomachenko can even compare his fight against Luke Campbell to the fight that Canelo had against Lomachenko. I just don't understand. They'll make no sense to me. But he just opens his mouth, and that when he opens his mouth, it's like he's shooting himself in the foot, because what you're basically saying is you should be you should be pound for pound number one, and your claim is that you moved up 2 weight classes from your normal weight division. So he's trying to flip the script and say that Canelo, he was fought at 168, so he really just moved up 1 weight class. But I moved up 2 weight classes from my normal weight class, which is featherweight. And I'm like, Ninja, you can't be saying that. And the thing about it is, it's not like Lomachenko's last fight was at featherweight before he went up to lightweight. He didn't do a 2-fight jump. In fact, he don't want to even do 4 divisional jump. And remember, Canelo, the thing about Canelo, which is different to Lomachenko by far, is Canelo started off at super lightweight. So Canelo's already gone up 6 divisions. He's won titles in 3, but he's gone up 6 divisions. So when you look at Canelo, for example, Canelo's done a hell of a lot than Lomachenko's done. Period. He's gone up more weight classes than Lomachenko. He's won titles in 3 divisions. But if he goes down to super middleweight and wins another world title, he'll have 4 divisions. Something Lomachenko never did. And remember, he's moving through 6 weight classes. Lomachenko's only moved through 3. And he's talking about how he can't go through a 4th one. Okay? And my point being this. Right? Lomachenko makes the claim that Canelo's fighting guys at the end of their careers or whatever. But the guys facing Lomachenko, they're facing him at the end of his career too. He don't got all that much time left. So I don't understand what he's talking about. And I just don't understand why he even opened his mouth. He should probably just kept his mouth shut. Because he's just shooting himself in the foot every single time. He's shooting himself in the foot. You think about this kid, Luke Campbell, he got beat by a guy who nobody really knows, but it's the African dude who was fighting on the inside. And that guy had more success getting to the inside of Luke Campbell than Lomachenko did. You know what I'm saying? Okay? Versus Canelo, who's the most successful at walking down Sergey Kovalev. He the guy that got to the inside, never got hit. But anything serious has stopped Sergey Kovalev. Yes, Sergey Kovalev lost 3 times before and got stopped twice. But Luke Campbell, he lost 2 times before. Okay, got dropped 2 times. So I mean, and he ain't even faced the level of competition that Sergey Kovalev has, and he avenged one loss, right? So I mean, I don't know. I don't know how. Uh, I don't know how they could even that. Lomachenko would even say those things. Then he goes on to say something else, which is just equally as not well thought of, I think, in my opinion. He speaks about how um, Gervonta Davis. He's saying that he may stay at lightweight because Gervonta Davis and all those guys are up at lightweight. So he's saying this now. If he says I'm going to stay at lightweight and then he goes down to super featherweight, that's going to look bad. Okay, and from the looks of things, it looks like he's going to have to move down. So it's going to look bad, people. That's all I'm saying. But we'll see what happens with that. See what happens with that. Watch how the fights unfold. So that's all I got for you guys right now. Lomachenko's statements just he's shooting himself in the foot because all he's doing is giving more credence to the fact that he's avoiding Devin Haney for reasons unknown to us. And like Canelo, he then talks about how Devin Haney hasn't faced anybody. And I'm like, dude, you was just about to face a guy that didn't face nobody. In fact, dude, when we think about it, all right, you face Luke Campbell. Okay, he faced Jorge Linares. He faced Anthony Corolla. Who did Anthony Corolla beat? Who did Anthony Corolla beat to deserve that? He became world champion, but who did he beat? No, seriously, who did he beat? No, let's have a look at it. Let's look at Anthony Corolla's, because Anthony Corolla got a shot at Lomachenko, right? Because he was world champion. That's the whole thing, right? But who did Anthony Corolla beat to make him worthy of a Lomachenko fight, right? Let's have a look, right? I'm just saying. And Anthony Corolla's just retired from boxing. I mean, who did Anthony Corolla beat, man? I'm serious. And here he gets the shot at Lomachenko. Right? Let's see. He faced Jorge Linares twice. Kudos to him on that. He beat Ricky Burns. Okay. That's a good win. He also beat Dolly Perez. That's a good win. All right, so he beat Dolly Perez. He beat Ricky Burns before Jorge Linares and lost to him twice. Fair enough. Okay. That's fair enough. But my point anyway is, there are several fighters that Lomachenko faced, and he never asked that question about them. Right? I'm just saying. Because that's the same argument that Canelo's saying. Who did Demetrius Andrade face? And I find that argument fickle, both by Canelo and by Luke Campbell. It should just never say nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? Because that make no sense. All right, so Let me show you some fighters that he faced who haven't done anything. They ain't faced nobody. All right. When he was at featherweight, not super featherweight now. He was super featherweight for a couple. He was facing names of super featherweight. At featherweight, he faced Romulo Koasica or Koasica. He also faced Gamelia Rodriguez and Surya Tatakun. You could say it was a different time in his career, but them guys didn't deserve those fights. They didn't deserve to face him. In terms of they didn't have nobody they faced. You know what I mean? But, if he wants to say that Devin Haney, who has he faced, my problem is this. He's your mandatory. And you were supposed to face him first. Nobody else. He got himself in the position to be a mandatory. And you turned him down. Right? And the guy that you was going to face, right, Kambosos, he didn't accomplish what Devin Haney accomplished. He didn't get to interim or anything. He was ranked pretty high in the IBF rankings. And the WBO pretty high. He was 5th in the WBO. But what I mean? It mean absolutely nothing because Devin Haney was your mandatory. So I still don't understand why he would say that about Devin Haney at a point in time when he was going to face Gambosos. I just don't understand it. You know? Maybe somebody else can explain it to me, but I don't understand that. So Lomachenko making these claims, man. Making these claims. Bessie didn't say nothing, man. You know? Bessie didn't say anything. Be good for him. Anyways, that's what I got. I'm going to catch you guys later. Deuces. I'm out.